Hello MotoGP fans, welcome back to ZNGP today. Ducati's sporting director, Davide Tardozzi, expressed confidence in Marc Marquez's ability to secure a race win before the end of the 2024 MotoGP season. His comments came after a strong showing from Ducati at the Austrian GP, where the team celebrated a hat-trick on the podium, with Marquez finishing in fourth place. Franco Morbidelli experienced a tough start in the Austrian MotoGP after a tangle with Marc Marquez, triggered by Marquez's front holeshot device issue. Despite the early setback, Morbidelli managed a remarkable recovery. Jorge Martín reflects on his performance in Austria, where he finished second and lost the World Championship lead by just 5 points. Martín discusses his battle with Pecco Bagnaia and responds to insights from Jorge Lorenzo on their riding styles. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. The Austrian GP was a showcase of Ducati's dominance, with all three GP24 bikes finishing on the podium. Francesco Bagnaia and Jorge Martín were the standouts, with Enea Bastianini rounding out the top three. Tardozzi highlighted their performances, especially noting Bastianini's recovery after a tough start to the weekend. We are also very happy for Enea, who started very badly on Friday and in the end took home a podium. He completed Ducati's hat-trick, which is the 8th consecutive in MotoGP. Quote from Davide Tardozzi. Marc Marquez, riding a GP23, was also a focal point of Tardozzi's comments. Despite facing early setbacks that dropped him to 13th position, Marquez displayed impressive pace in the second half of the race, setting some of the fastest lap times. Tardozzi suggested that with a better start, Marquez could have been a contender for not just the podium, but possibly the victory. I had warned that Marquez would fight for the victory on Sunday and he was the fastest rider on the track. With a good start, he could have been in the fight for the podium, and maybe even the victory. Tardozzi's remarks underscore Ducati's belief in Marquez's potential, not just for next season when he will officially join their ranks, but for the remainder of this year. Tardozzi was clear that while Ducati's current focus is on their official riders, Pecco Bagnaia and Enea Bastianini, Marquez's abilities are undeniable. We are not blindfolded and we know that Marc has great potential. But he will win a race before the end of the season, Tardozzi concluded. As the MotoGP season progresses, all eyes will be on Marc Marquez to see if he can turn Tardozzi's prediction into reality. With his undeniable talent and Ducati's formidable machinery, a win could be just around the corner. For now, Ducati remains focused on their championship battle, but they are clearly excited about what the future holds with Marquez in their lineup. The Austrian MotoGP saw an early drama unfold as Franco Morbidelli and Marc Marquez made contact heading into Turn 1. Marquez, struggling with his front holeshot device, lost acceleration and rapidly dropped from 3rd to 6th place. As Morbidelli attempted to navigate around him, a gap between Marquez and Alex Espargaro suddenly closed, leading to a collision that sent both riders wide. When I arrived into Turn 1, Marc had a problem. He went on the left as I was going through, and we got tangled. But finally, nothing happened and I'm happy about that. Quote from Franco Morbidelli. The contact saw Marquez fall to 13th place and Morbidelli drop as low as 18th. Despite the difficult start, both riders made impressive comebacks. Marquez climbed 9 positions to finish 4th, while Morbidelli fought his way back to 8th. Recovering from 18th wasn't easy. To overtake people here, it's complicated. But anyway, we were able to catch up to 8th. So it was a positive race for us. Reflecting on the race, Morbidelli highlighted the growing difficulty of overtaking in MotoGP due to the minimal performance differences between bikes and the advanced braking capabilities enhanced by ride height devices. Despite these challenges, Morbidelli managed to gain 10 positions during the race, showcasing his skill and determination. In MotoGP, it's becoming more and more difficult to overtake because the difference in performance between the bikes in a straight line is very small. And everybody is able to brake very deep with the ride height devices the bikes have. Morbidelli was pleased with his performance and the speed he displayed in Austria, but he's setting his sights on improving his qualifying positions in future races, starting with the next round in Aragon. I'm happy with the speed we had and with the feelings I experienced. I hope to qualify better in Aragon and in the following races, Morbidelli concluded. Franco Morbidelli's Austrian MotoGP race may have started with an unfortunate tangle, but his ability to recover and secure a top 10 finish demonstrates his resilience and skill. As the season progresses, Morbidelli is focused on continuing his strong performances and improving his race starts. Prima Pramac Racing's Jorge Martín came close to victory in Austria but ultimately settled for second behind Pecco Bagnaia. Despite a strong race, Martín expressed some disappointment in the outcome, noting that a critical moment of hesitation may have cost him the win. A bit disappointed with the final result. I had a great race, but after that overtaking, I wanted to wait a bit, but it was clearly the wrong decision. I think that from second position I tried to defend myself. I tried to attack him again, but I was taking a lot of risks, Martin told by Motosan. Martín detailed his efforts to pressure Bagnaia throughout the race, acknowledging that while he felt competitive, Bagnaia had the edge, particularly in the latter stages of the race. When he got back into the race I felt good. I tried to put a bit of pressure. But in the end, he had one more gear today too. I think that if I had kept that first position, it would have been a different race. Quote from Martin. MotoGP legend Jorge Lorenzo offered his perspective on the riding differences between Martín and Bagnaia, highlighting Bagnaia's superior braking ability. Martín responded to Lorenzo's comments, agreeing with some points but offering his own take on their comparative styles. It's true that Pecco has a bit more braking skills lately. He manages to stop the bike a bit better. But that time he does on entry, well, obviously it's difficult to overtake. Martín further elaborated on the difficulties of racing behind Bagnaia, pointing out that the intense heat generated by Bagnaia's braking made it challenging to maintain his pace. Being behind, everything becomes even more difficult. I tried, above all, not to go off the track. I tried to cool down as much as possible, but that's where he made the difference. With the World Championship still within reach, Martín remains optimistic about the upcoming races, despite the narrow points gap. He's looking forward to Aragon, a track that could favor Bagnaia but where he plans to be more competitive. It is only 5 points. Aragon is a good track for him, Pecco, so we will see how it goes. And well, I hope to be a little more competitive. And regarding the finger, now we have it there. It hasn't been a problem in the race, Martin concluded. Jorge Martín may have missed out on a win in Austria, but with just 5 points separating him from Bagnaia in the World Championship, he's gearing up for a strong challenge in Aragon. As the battle for the title intensifies, Martín's focus remains on fine-tuning his approach to outpace his rival in the races ahead. Thanks for watching ZNGP today. See you in the next video.